What's up, I'm FreeBlueCars, and if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering whether you should write the music or lyrics first when you're making a song. To put it simply, it's best not to think about either, to be honest. Personally, I sort of do both and neither at the same time. Now that might sound a bit confusing, but bear with me, I'm going to explain it throughout the video. I'm going to be looking at some of the benefits and drawbacks of writing lyrics first, writing music first, doing sort of both, and also what I personally do, which is a mix of all of them really. But yeah, let's get into it. So, what are the benefits of writing music first? Well, the obvious answer for writing music first is that you already have an understanding of the vibe and the feel of the track. Obviously that gives you a really good basis to start creating lyrics from. For example, in a band scenario, you may have got like a cool instrumental and you're looking for a story for that song. If you're the lyricist, you already know how that song makes you feel, and that is going to massively impact the emotion that you try to portray in your lyrics to, match the same feeling of the song. But the main reason that people suggest writing music before you write lyrics is that the music is more important. Arguably this is true. Obviously some genres it will be more important, maybe not. But personally I just see this view as backwards, to be honest. Obviously what I said before is true. It's great that you can already have a feeling of the song and know what you're going to be writing about almost. But for me I find this a little bit... what's the word? Limiting. Of course, it's great to be able to write when there's a clear key, a clear tempo, and a clear rhythmic structure. But for me, I often find that this just sort of leads to writer's block. Sometimes I'll have a track loaded up that I'm writing lyrics for, and I just sit there for hours just looping the track over and over and over, just not actually writing anything. And obviously this is just a massive waste of time. Maybe at most I'll get like a nice melody or something that I want to use, but then that also begins to limit my options, because if there's certain accents in the melody that I need to accentuate with the lyric, there's less phrases that I can use to write. I hope that makes sense. So to avoid this, it can be helpful to write lyrics first instead. Sometimes the best thing for a vocal is the focus and freedom, I guess, of expressing that vocal. Whereas if you're writing the melody and the lyrics for the song, sometimes you're moulding the lyrics to the song rather than giving the lyrics the focus that they deserve. So I said that writing the music first can help benefit the lyrics, but it's true the other way around as well. So if you've got a good set of lyrics, a clear melody, clear rhythm, you can actually start to build the instrumental around that to accentuate those parts of the rhythm and really entice the hook. Not entice the hook, that doesn't make sense. Entice the hook? Hook the listener. If you find yourself struggling with writer's block, either musically or lyrically, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to do a video specifically about writer's block and how to get out of it. I'm going to do one for music and one for lyrics. Now let's talk about what I do. So generally I think the best method is to do both at the same time. Maybe you get a first lyric that you think is quite cool and a melody for that. You know what chords you want under it, and then you start building the chord progression, and then you get the next few lines of the melody and lyrics based off of that chord progression that you've built, and then it all builds around each other. They need to be interlinked. I've got two questions that you should be thinking about when you're making the music and writing the lyrics. What is the subject and the mood of the song that you want to convey? The music and the lyrics, they go hand in hand. They need to work together, and regardless of what method you actually use, that's the important thing, that they work together. There's times where I write the music first and then write some lyrics afterwards. This is often the case when I'm writing material for my band, Man Made Hell. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out our music. But generally I'll have a pretty solid idea of the demo, and even some of the melodies, if they're strong melodies, I'll then try to write the lyrics for that. There's also times where I'll do, the complete opposite of that. I'll have a full set of lyrics and I won't even think about what I want the music to sound like, but then as soon as I start working on it, very quickly I build those ideas around the lyrics. A lot of the time I'll do sort of both at the same time. And again, with my band, Man Made Hell, sometimes I do this as well. There's some songs that are almost a lyric idea with a music idea that everything, again, just builds around that. You know, sometimes I'll mix these methods all together, because we go through a lot of trial and error, so I might start with a whole set of lyrics and then build a song around it and then realise that I want to change half the lyrics. But just to completely flip everything that I've said on its head, I'm going to talk about what I use for Free Blue Cards specifically, which is this project. So, for example, Thought You Should Know, which I released a month ago, I think at the time of releasing this video, I'd written the actual instrumental like way before I even wrote any lyrics for it, and I was literally going to scrap it because I just couldn't think of any lyrics for it. And then I wrote some lyrics on its own that I also was going to scrap, and I was like, we'll just throw it together, see what happens, and I ended up really liking the result. I often just sort of focus on the music, focus on the lyrics, and then I'll trial and error different verses, different choruses and whatever over the instrumentals. So part of the reason that I like using this method is that you never actually know what the result is going to be like, because you've had no thought about how the music's going to affect the lyrics, how the lyrics is going to affect the music, and then you put them together and it just sounds really cool. Or it doesn't, and then you use a different track. The main reason that I use this method, to be honest though, is just time saving. I think right now I've got like 15 half-finished tracks in my demos folder across like a few different projects, and if I was to go through each one individually and just have it on a loop and just sit there until I have something for every single song, I'd be here forever. So it's just a lot easier for me to write a set of lyrics and then just try it on every single song, or whichever one it works best for. That's the one I use it for. Sometimes if I am writing for a specific song, I won't even write it over the song. There's been a lot of times as well with my band that rather than writing the lyrics for the specific instrumental, I'll just find like an emo rap beat or a trap beat or whatever that's a similar key, similar tempo, and I'll just write it over that instead and then move it back over to the project. If it sounds good, it sounds good. If not, I'll carry on writing other stuff. But the main takeaway is to just not think about it, just write some music, write some lyrics, and depending on what sort of genre and whatever, maybe write them together, maybe write them entirely separate. The song is what matters at the end of the day, not whether you write the music or the lyrics first. If you want to see some more videos, click somewhere there.